G'day folks, g'day folks, g'day everyone, g'day everyone, g'day folks, g'day folks, g'day. G'day folks, g'day everyone, g'day everyone, g'day everyone, g'day folks, hey folks. G'day everyone, today I'm trying something different and I've decided to head over to the Broken River downstream of Benalla to see if I can catch myself a midwinter Murray cod or Yellowbelly or possibly even a carp. Rightio folks, now I don't fish the Broken River a lot. I normally fish here in the winter, sometimes in the spring, targeting Yellowbelly. There's been a few stockings of Yellowbelly into the Ovens River near where I live, but here in the Broken River, the Yellowbelly stockings have been taking place for a lot of years, and there's quite a good number over here, enough to make it worth the trip over specifically to target them. So I've come over here in the hope that I just might be able to catch something. I'm thinking middle of winter, everything's quiet, there's an extra species here that we don't get very often in Wangaratta, that might just increase my chances, who knows. But before I came to this particular spot, I went to Casey's Weir. I've always loved Casey's Weir. Casey's Weir is a weir on the Broken River that has been designed to lift the water level up so that gravity can feed the Broken Creek, which then runs down through parts of northern Victoria. It's not a water storage as such, it's just a weir on the Broken River so that gravity can feed the water down through the Broken Creek. And it has a fantastic fish ladder for native fish to migrate past, and they do so very, very well. But anyway, I went to Casey's Weir before I came here, and what I found was that there was hardly any movement. It was almost stagnant. You couldn't see any current in the water. In fact, this strong northerly wind that we've got made it look like the water was flowing backwards. There was a lot of algae on the surface. There's trees with grass and stuff growing through them, and I thought it just didn't look fishy. So I thought to myself, I might head to another part of the river. I'll try and find a section with a bit of current that looks a little bit fresher. It's a hard enough time of the year as it is to catch fish around here. So I thought if I just go somewhere where the water's actually flowing, I might just have a bit more of a chance. So here we are, Broken River, middle of winter, downstream of Benalla. Let's see if I can go and drown some worms and pick up a fish. Rightio, I'm rigged and ready with my first rod. You'll see there I'm using the paternoster rig with the sinker at the bottom, the dropper coming off the side with the loop, and the hook with a bunch of worms on it. Now with regards to the worms, some people ask me what the best worms are to use. Now, some people will tell you there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of different types of worms in the world. But from the perspective of a fisherman, there's really only two types of worms. There's the sort of worms that you dig in the area that you're fishing, and then there's every other worm in the world. Basically, the best worms you can get to fish in a spot like this are the worms that you dig here. If there was a lagoon up there and I could dig worms on the bank of the lagoon in the mud, they would be the best worms to use here now. But there's no lagoon up there, and if there was, I haven't got time to dig them, so I've got to either dig some at home or buy some. If you dig them at home, you might get red flat tail worms or garden worms. You can use scrub worms. In this case, these are like a tiger worm. These are actually the Nillahcootie euro crawlers. I think it doesn't matter whether it's a scrubby, one of these, a garden worm, a flat tail worm. I think they're all pretty much the same. The only way I could get a better worm is if I use a worm that occurs naturally in the environment. And that's why a lot of people like using scrub worms for bait, because scrub worms often occur naturally in the hills around the trout streams. Right, paternoster rig, worms. Just going to flick it out there a little bit. Doesn't have to go all the way out. Beautiful. Now, you'll notice I've got my rod down quite low here. There's a reason for that. The northerly wind has sprung up quite a bit. I've actually walked away from my car so that I can sit down the base of this high bank here in the hope that I can escape the wind a little bit. But I also have my rod tips down lower, closer to the water, because the less line there is between my rod tip and the water, the less drag the wind can create and the less disturbance there is on my rod, making it easier to detect a bite. During the wind, if I have my rod sticking up really high, it's going to flap around like mad. So I've got one down low there, my other stick is here, but I've got to rig that rod up, and then I'm going to catch a monster. Well, that's the plan anyway. Rightio, now got my second rod rigged up, ready to go. Same thing, paternoster rig, hook above the sinker, hanging off a loop. In case you're wondering what size sinker I use, about that size. What's that, about not even a centimetre round. Pretty much the smallest I can get away with. If there was a lot of current and there was a risk of my bait being washed away or washed into snags, I'd use a heavier sinker, but I don't need to. So I've got a nice light sinker, and the hook is about that big. I never know. I never actually know what size hooks and sinkers I'm using. I'll put that one out there, I reckon. Just like the other rod, I'm going to keep that down nice and low. Keep the tip down low, reasonably close to the water, just to prevent too much wind from catching on the line and making it shake. One very important tip for you all to remember is that you do not need expensive rods and reels to do this. In fact, if you've got expensive rods and reels, it is in your best interest to go to the tackle shop and buy an El Cheapo for this. This is a Black Queen, straight from the 1970s, with a $30 Shimano Sienna on it, with 4-pound Maxima Ultra Grain. That was custom made for me, that rod, by Kevin Law in Wangaratta. In fact, after I mentioned that last time, Kevin's grandson contacted me and thanked me for using the rod. But it's got a cheap Daiwa reel and some 12-pound mono on it. You'll notice my Venom fishing rod isn't here, or my wild bait stick, or my Shimano Stratix. I avoid using them for this sort of purpose because they lay in the dirt, they lay in the sand, and if you're not watching, a carp can pull these rods in a heartbeat. So I never use my good quality rods and reels for this sort of fishing unless I have to. Current time is 2:51 p.m, so I've got about 3 hours to catch a fish. Good luck, Robbie. Hey, fishy, 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 fishy. Hey, fishy, 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 fishy. Well, I put my line in the Yellowbelly hole, and the Yellowbelly said, God bless my soul, I like it, I like it, I like it, but I'm not hungry, so I'm not going to take it. Well, I put my line in the Murray cod hole. The Murray cod said, God bless my soul, I like it, I like it, I like it, but not today, sorry Robbie. Deep river, my heart lies over the broken river. That rhymes. River rhymes with river. Who would have thought? I must be bored. I was reading an interesting article the other day. You probably won't believe this. I'm finding it hard to believe, but I was reading an article in a magazine that said that humans actually eat more bananas than monkeys. Can you believe that? Humans eat more bananas than monkeys. And I thought, that can't be right. I can't even remember the last time I ate a monkey. Rightio, that is it from me, folks. I was planning on fishing until 6 o'clock, but the weather app on my phone is telling me that it's going to rain at 5 o'clock. The current time is 5 to 5 and my car is 5 minutes that way. So I've got to get a move on. To fish in the rain is one thing, but to fish in the rain when the fishing's dead is just stupidity as far as I'm concerned. I'm a bit of a fair weather fisherman sometimes. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. It has been another fishless trip. I do apologise for that. I haven't made many videos lately and I do apologise, but it's actually quite hard for me to get out this time of year. I've said it before and I'll say it again, there's not a lot of fishing close to home for me, so I've just been laying low and doing a few things. I've been reorganising a lot of my really old photos, scanning them off the hundreds of old CDs and DVDs that I've got, putting them onto a portable hard drive. This is the time of year that I like to get these things done so that when the trout season opens and then the cod season, I can just do heaps of fishing. Trout season is only 4.5 weeks away, then you'll see a lot more action fishing. I can't wait, I'm excited, but for now it's just boring fishless videos. Thank you very much for watching.
Bye.